guys, it's Steph. Have you ever been so excited about just getting away from it all that all you really worried about was just getting to the place you wanted to go and nothing else? So something a little like this happens to you? Yes, I'm finally here. I don't have to think about work for the next few days. Time to relax and have the best time ever. Nothing can ruin this trip. Oh, snap! That's bright. Man, I hope it's not like this every day. Whew! It is hot. Where on earth is that car? I gotta get out of this heat. I thought it was supposed to be wintertime everywhere. Is this a city or an oven? Man, forget this. This jacket is coming off. And this shirt. Whew, I feel so much better. Please, God, let there be something I can wear in this bag. Boots? Nope, can't wear those. Jeans? Jeans. Pants? Long sleeve shirt, long sleeve shirt, long sleeve shirt, long sleeve shirt, and another long sleeve shirt. I am so screwed. Yes? No? Maybe this has happened to you? It's not my proudest moment. I mean, and it's certainly not the first time that I made a mistake while traveling around in Peru and I didn't do my research about what the weather would be like once I got there. So yeah. Peru only really has two seasons. There is the wet season that is from November to April, and then there's the dry season that's from May to October. Did you know that Peru has 28 of the 32 known world climates? That's why it's really important to do your research about what the weather's going to be like when you're planning on traveling here, because you don't want to go somewhere and then the weather just be totally different from what you expected and then not be able to do the things that you had planned. So if you're traveling to Cusco, the peak season in Cusco is from June to mid-September. That's when you have a lot of tourists there because the weather is excellent. It's absolutely perfect. And in June they have the Inti Raymi celebration, which you shouldn't miss if you have the opportunity to go. But the downside of traveling from that time, from June to mid-September, is that during that time there are floods of tourists and the hotel prices are high. So if you want to avoid those two things, then I suggest you travel during the last 2 weeks of May or sometime between the last 2 weeks of September to the first 2 weeks of November so that you avoid the rainy season and you avoid the tourists and the high prices. Also, when traveling to Cusco, you want to take shorts and t-shirts to wear during the day as you're going about your activities and stuff, but you also want to bring some light sweaters, maybe even a light jacket, so that you can wear it at night, because at night it can get chilly. The best time to travel to Huaraz is also from June to August, maybe a little bit in September as well, because it's perfect weather for trekking and the skies are very clear, it's very sunny, and you can see all the stars and all that good stuff. But again, you also have to pack warm clothes for during the day and clothes that you can wear at night when it's chillier. In Lima, we typically have winter during, I would say, maybe May, sometime in late May to early September. It's been changing the last few years. But in the mountains, such as Huaraz, they call it Verano Andino, which means the Andean summer. Because even though it's really cold and foggy and stuff here in Lima, over there in Huaraz, in the mountains, it's very sunny, it's very hot. The best time to come to Lima is probably between September, October, November, because it's not too hot and it's not too cold. During the summer, which is December, January, and February, it's really, really hot. It's so humid, and you are gonna sweat in places that you didn't even know existed. If you're traveling to Paracas to see the Paracas National Reserve or the Islas Ballestas, then the best time to go to Paracas so that you have a chance to see the whales is September to October. But during the rest of the year, you usually just get to see the sea lions and the birds and penguins, and sometimes you can occasionally see the dolphins there too. If you want to go to Ica to see the Huacachina, which is this little oasis in the middle of the desert, and to go sandboarding and to ride the dune buggies, then you can go to Ica pretty much any time of the year because it's always warm. If you want to go to Arequipa, then you can go from March to November, but locals recommend that you go from April to June or maybe the first 2 weeks of August because that's when you have the best weather. Arequipa is sunny during the day and chilly at night, so make sure you bring a light sweater. If you're going to travel to the jungle, then you definitely want to try to avoid the wet season, which is, again, November to April, because it's difficult to get around and stuff. You know, it's really muddy and there are more mosquitoes and it's a lot more humid. The jungle is humid as it is, but you want to try to avoid it in the wet season because it's more humid during that time. Some people prefer to travel during the wet season because then there's a higher possibility of seeing animals during that time in some places. But that's just a suggestion. Most people try to travel during the dry season. Puno is known for its Lake Titicaca, which is the highest navigable lake in the world. It's 3,820 meters above sea level, so that's a little over 12,000 feet. But Puno is also known for being a really cold departamento. So I personally wouldn't travel over there during the winter time or during the dry season. I would probably go during the wet season. So when traveling to Peru, it's not just important to look into the weather, but you also have to look into the special holidays we celebrate here. Some important holidays to note are the time between Christmas Day and New Year's Day, because during that time, Peruvians are either traveling back home to be with their families, or they're traveling for New Year's to go somewhere nice and to have a good time, to relax. Then the time between March to April, sometime between then, we have La Semana Santa, which is a Holy Week type of thing. And basically it's kind of like Easter Sunday, but it's a Thursday through Sunday kind of thing. So you also have to take into consideration those dates as well and look into those because it changes every year. And Peruvians do travel a lot during that time as well. Then we also have Independence Day in Peru, which is the 28th of July. And we also love traveling then. If it's on a Friday, we typically have Thursday off as well. So we have a 4-day long weekend and we go somewhere else. And then in October, we also have Señor de los Milagros. During that month, there's a lot of celebrations with that, and they have a lot of processions and a lot of food and all kinds of good stuff. So you have to be careful there as well. Those are the only important dates I can remember right now. I'm sorry, but there are like a couple more. So if you like this video and you want to share some of your stories where you went on a trip somewhere and didn't have the right clothes, then please, I'd like to hear your comments, and thank you so much for watching once again. Bye-bye, have a nice day. Really has 2 seasons. That's the dry season. That's from, oh my god, I feel them in my pants. I think I have an ant in my pants. Oh no. Okay. Peru really only has 2 seasons, and that's the, oh my god, motorcycles!